Today, we are going to the past. Back to the past, you might say. The DeLorean. Love it, hate it, it's iconic. Personally, it's one of my favorite cars, even though it's an absolute pile of garbage. So today, in Automation, I decided I am going to make a better DeLorean. I'm going to keep it as close to spec as possible and just try and make it not suck. So I want to see if we can get closer to that original price point of $12,000, get closer to the intended horsepower goals, which honestly I'm not even sure what they are, but they were sure higher than it ended up with, and just get something that actually is a sports car. Alright, I have been wanting to do this video for the longest time, but the last time that I tried to do it, there wasn't a mod body that fit it. But in my absence, it appears that it has appeared. So now we actually have a proper DeLorean body to work with. So now I can make my own DeLorean. So a little bit of a curveball for this video compared to others is that this one is going to be more based on the actual car. I want to put a very similar engine in here, so I have specs for bore, stroke, compression ratio, but when it comes to tuning, we're gonna go a little wild. When it comes to designing, I'm gonna take some liberties. I'm gonna keep it kind of in the same vein, but it's gonna be a little different. All in all, I'm excited for this one. I've wanted this one for a long time. So, first question though, stainless steel is not an option. So, do I go for steel? Probably. It's stained steel. Look at our lovely stained steel car. I will say the one thing it's lacking on in this spec sheet is the actual chassis. The suspension area is just blank. All right, for the hell of it, we're gonna put it on a ladder. We're gonna do steel for the chassis. You know what? No, we'll go corrosion resistant because it's not supposed to rust, even though we have rusting steel on the actual body. It's gonna be rear longitudinal. We're gonna do a coil in the front, and I wanted to do a trailing arm in the back. Ugh, I can't. I have to do a double wishbone in the rear, but I'll do a coil in the front. So the reason I want to do that is just because, according to my spec sheets at least, I'm not an expert on DeLoreans. It's got a coil in the front and a trailing arm in the rear. We're diverging. So, a 6-cylinder, 90-degree cast iron block. We have a 3.58 bore, and we have a 2.87 stroke. And it's supposed to be 2849. That's pretty close. That's basically spot on. We're going with that. Let's see. It had a single overhead cam. This is going to be a Liberty place. It's got overhead cams, but I'm going to say 4 valves and cast iron heads. Again, this is not, 100% accurate. Okay, it's not. All right, we'll start off with cast on everything and a harmonic damper. We'll probably have to kick some of this up to high gear. Now, the original DeLorean was planned to be sold for 12 grand. But that was 1980 money. That was not 2024 money. So since all of this adjusts to 2020, I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but I want to figure out my goal. It would be $37,690. So that's what we're shooting for, because in actuality, it ended up being closer to 24, I believe, to buy a DeLorean, which was $75,000. It's pretty steep. So we're shooting for the original goal, which was to get it $37,000, which I think we can do. I think we've already built more car than a DeLorean for that price before. Compression ratio, this one has it at 8.8 to 1, so I'll do that. I don't have cam profile or springs and lifters information though, so we'll just have to take some liberties there. I'll come back. Honestly, I'm not sure if it as a per cylinder or a single. I'm gonna give it per cylinder because I'm gonna need some performance in this thing. We'll do cast mid, dual exhaust. It's going to have a cat because that was the whole thing with it. It had to meet emissions. So we'll go ahead and put a high flow 3-way on it, no mufflers. And off the bat, we're already 50 horsepower ahead of a DeLorean. Good work, everyone. Time to pack it in. No, I think we can squeeze more, actually. I think we can get more out of it. In that case, I'm going to start cutting stuff. What if we do single? We're still in the green. The conrods are dying, though. I will make the conrods... we'll have to forge them. Everything else is hanging together. All right, so... Manifold size. I'm gonna leave the manifold because we're at 100. I'm going to mess with the exhaust though, and then I'm gonna mess with the fuel. So we don't need that much exhaust space. It doesn't make much of a difference though, but I can get it to there. That's 91%. Honestly, I'd probably be fine with a single. And headers now at 100. Everything is going well on this. This is turning out great. Yeah, I could compress it harder at this point. All right, I'm gonna bring it up to 9.1. Not a major change, but it's gonna do enough, I think. We still have unutilized octane. So I think I'm going to advance the timing a little bit and get the performance index up. And then I guess just drop us to 85. It's only a couple of horsepower loss. And now everything kind of gets a little better. Awesome, 180 exact. I am liking this. Let's give it a hear. This has not been a difficult engine at all to put together. I mean, to be fair, it sounds like absolute garbage. Like, it sounds like it's going to fall apart. I'm sure it's fine. All right, well, of course this needs to be a mimicked version of stainless steel. It's probably not going to translate very well in Beam, but I'm going to do my best in automation to try and capture it. And we're on to fixtures. How about that? Look how fast this is going. This is going great. Now let's get the look of a DeLorean going. Exactly what I was looking for. Excellent. Now how can I make these fit? Yeah, I'll go with that one. That one's pretty good. All right, so we've got a significant thing done. Not much quantity-wise, but we have gotten a significant thing done. Now what I need next is squared headlights. Yeah, that's on track. But I did have an idea for a little bit of something here. Oh, and I never mentioned this, but I'm gonna call this. This is actually the name I named it. I actually recorded this whole video once before with the wrong body type because I was very much wanting to make this car, and then I deleted it because I thought that it was terrible and looked nothing like a DeLorean. So this is the Dolores Motor Company. Dolores. That's what we're calling it. And I guess I'll get a start at the back. I mean, when I'm trying to like build off something this iconic, yeah, it bores me. No, I'm kidding. But when I'm trying to build off something this iconic, it's a bit hard to break form on it because it's like there's so much expectation that it look a certain way that it's kind of tricky to do anything other than that expectation. So what I'm thinking is ignoring the lights, because I will change the lights if I stick with this to make them all look like one coherent unit. But what I'm thinking is I want to go back to this, not body molding, where is, I'm thinking a bumper bar. I want to grab these pieces here, not those. All right, you'll start to get a sense of what I'm trying to do here in a second. Okay, since we're back here, I think I'll throw on a California set of plates. That should fit this thing pretty well. Maybe not with that piece, but let's just grab a plate then. This feels like a bit of a Kmart brand DeLorean, the more that I look at it. I wish this lip wasn't so tall, but there's just not a whole lot I can do about it. Alright, I'm gonna grab this piece here because we're going to make it look like it is pixelated. All right, that's fine. Yeah, no, what I want is, even though it doesn't look perfect, I want it to kind of have a line that connects up to that bumper in that particular spot. All right, I want to kind of not spend another hour today on this car. So I'm gonna try and not rush, but, you know, get a little more pep in my step so I can get to the testing phase. I think I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna put an interior in it, but I'll do that off camera. I know there's no gas cap on it, but I'm sticking with the DeLorean style because DeLoreans have them under the hood. So I'm not gonna put one on the outside of the car. What I will do as well when I go to the interior is I will make those little dopey small windows with some trim pieces in there, because I think that will be a nice touch, as well as, well, we can do this right now actually. Let's find some rims for it. It needs like almost a full filled dish kind of area. I'm gonna go with those actually. I'm probably not gonna be loved for that, but I'm gonna go with those. So this thing's gonna be rear wheel drive. It's gonna have a 5-speed manual. We're gonna leave the gears how it is. We're gonna give it an open diff. No, I'll give it an LSD. We'll splurge on that. It's gonna have sports compound radials. It's gonna have steel rims though, keeping with the DeLorean's actual rims. Gonna give it discs on the front and rear. I'll do 1 piston discs to start with, and we'll go from there. We'll do it fully clad. Because why not? We're not gonna give it anything, but I'm gonna just give it a fully clad because it had a plastic one. In actuality, it didn't have any rear seats though. It just had a net. I don't know if you've ever been in a DeLorean, but the back seat, you just turn around and it's just a net. Well, it's not really a back seat because, you know, it's a net. it's literally a net. We'll do a sport interior. We'll do it with a premium cassette. It's gonna have a rack and pinion steering. We'll give it ABS, and we'll give it standard 80s safety. We'll go with standard springs to keep it cheap. We will go for twin tube dampers, passive sway bar because that's our only option, and that's where we're at. So right off the bat, we are at $15,600, and that is in 2020 money. So we are currently half the budget of the original target price for the original DeLorean. Let's see. So its current top speed is actually it's 161. Seems pretty reasonable. That is still a 7-second 0 to 60, so it's not the greatest. I think I'm gonna start with brakes. No, I'm not. I'm gonna start with wheels because that's gonna change how much surface area we have. That looks all right. I mean, it's a little in oversteer for a while, so it's probably gonna slide a good bit, but that's okay. But anyway, this is where we are with the first test of this car. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it doesn't need any changes, and I can just come back and slap an interior in here. But it might need a little bit of tweaking. Power steering is probably going to need to be added. But all in all, this is where we're at. Let's go test it. All right, so I got this cyberpunk map here. I thought we'd test it out on. Maybe take it to the Turbo Burger. Okay, honestly, that sounds so much better than it did in Beam. I stalled it. I have no idea where I'm going. I'm honestly just amazed it sounds as good as it does. God, okay, let's go on a flat road, because I cannot tell how it drives when I'm just launching it off of jumps and things constantly. Okay, I guess this is the freeway in the future? I don't know. This thing isn't bad. Oh, it even gets a little drifty. That's kind of fun. Alright, so the rear slides a bit too much. That needs to be addressed. Despite not having power steering, I don't think it's that big of an issue. Okay, I don't know where that tube goes, but I kind of want to find out. Yeah, let's go through the tube. Well, the lights look pretty awesome, I have to say. We just skipped right out of that pool. I'm going to take it back and tinker, put an interior in it. I feel like the basics are all in place, so I'll just put the interior in, and we'll do another test run and see if everything's fixed. So the interior of this car is like the car version of an identity crisis. It's got so many different things going on, and I feel like none of them mesh together. But at least at the end of the day, it does exist. It has an interior. And that's all I really want. I mean, they're not all going to be stars. They're not all going to look like the Noble. Also, the steering wheel looks way too performance heavy for a stock car. But, you know what? I'm going to change that. That's like the one thing I do just not like. It's not even going to be exactly straight, but you know what? It's close enough. It's also got a nifty engine bay. I've started doing this lately, and I'm kind of regretted starting it because now I feel compelled to do it on all of them, but especially the ones with visible engines. So that's our engine bay. But alas, that is going to be that. You know, it still says the front tires are wide for the load the front tires are wide for the load they carry. They're like really getting thin. All right, that is gonna be it, I think, for version 2. I will note one other thing I did. I changed it to Dolores Auto Corporation, which is what I originally had in mind. That way I have a DAC logo, so it's just a little bit different. All right, time for the second iteration. Let's give it a go in Beam. All right, I really hope that this has just fixed everything somehow, and it's all good now. Also, I don't know what's going on with that dashboard, but there's definitely supposed to be a BeamNG screen there, so I'm gonna have to investigate that a little bit and figure out why that's not showing up. Okay, I'm looking for like an opportunity to corner it effectively and like recover. Ooh, okay, we can snap it back a little bit more now. We didn't used to be able to do that. I also totally forgot to do the window thing I mentioned, which is interesting because for some reason there's just a hole in that side of the car. I don't know what that's from. So the brakes are wonderful. Probably the best brakes I've had in a car in a long time. However, it is not an off-roader. So for those of you interested in this car for an off-roader, I'm very sorry. I regret to inform you. That's not gonna work out. Oh, it made it through there, so that's something. I don't even know what I'm testing for at this point, like... I'm just crashing it. So there are a lot of issues with this car, however, I think most of them are just rendering issues. Like that hole in the glass, I don't know what that's about, and I'm nervous it's something that I spent a lot of time on. Let's see what our top speed is, though, because we might want to gear this thing down a ways. Because allegedly it's like 160, and that feels very far away. Oh, 156, 157, 158. Can I see 159? Come on, can we hit 160? Please, 160. 160. 161. Okay, can we hit 162? 162. About 3. 3. I don't even think we're supposed to be able to hit 3. 4. Tell me more. No more. Okay, 164. It honestly is pretty fun. I don't know how it's gonna be on a track environment, but just to mess with, it's pretty fun. Is this a wall or a ramp? I'm hoping it's a ramp. And we've shed the interior along the journey. This one's got a hole in it too. I do not know what that's about. That is strange. Good news is at least the race dash works now. Alright, well it's time to send it down this ramp. So we've got some speed going now. This is gonna be an incident. I'm just gonna hold clutch. Let's take the low one, see if we can maybe land this. Oh, we're not landing this. Maybe full front flip. Okay, we're still going. Another one. Oh, that was a touch. That was a touch. Oh, okay, we've lost it. We've lost it. I'm just gonna keep revving, because what else I got to do? Come on, land on the wheels. You got this. So that was not a good outcome. Okay, that exhaust is going straight up. That's not normal. Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. But they would help. Roads would help. It's a lot more predictable than I expected it to be. Oh, I don't know this track. Okay, we're going this way. It just took that. You know, if this thing had some downforce on it, I feel like it could be really good. Oh, that was a hard right turn. Alright, guess we're going this way. Oh, we're gonna die. That felt like a really hard landing. But the car feels pretty okay after it. So it came off that ramp at an angle into the front left tire. Oh. Barely anything. Just a... I was gonna say the trim's a bit bent, but it looks like it's normally like that. So... Okay, maybe not quite that much, but still, that's pretty good. I think it is about time for a visit to our track. I think I may actually run this lap in first person, just to give it the best chance it can get. I also love how there's a boost PSI gauge on this thing. Just no turbo. 3, 2, 1, go. Don't worry about why this is not the first attempt. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I didn't do anything dumb. That would be ridiculous. So we're gonna get to fourth for like a split second, and then we're gonna brake right back into third. Into second through there. We caught that awkwardly, but this, I'm not going for a perfect lap here. It's just a lap. We're gonna brake a little bit because this car has trouble getting around these corners that I like to do in faster cars, or in more like well-engineered cars. That's not the wrong word. Cars with downforce. Grounded cars. But anyway, we made it through. And stop. Anyway, the DAC Dolores has completed this track in 1 minute 22.05 seconds. So really not too bad, especially for a car with that level of power. That's pretty good, I'd say. Pretty fun. It's a fairly fun car, and you can jump on it. It's got a suspension. It's got all the fun parts of a car. I'm just gonna like jump on this car now. Oh, that's fun. Oh, I dented the hood. Well, you know, steel isn't the strongest. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know down in the comments. If you want to drive this car for yourself, it'll be available on the Discord as soon as this video is up. All the cars from the Autopolitan and from any other series that I've done, they're all available on the Discord. So if you're interested in that, that's the place to be. But anyway, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.